Dude, I just fucking got home from work. Like, I'm in the middle of doing these bills right now. I don't know why they want me to do this goddamn podcast.
Because some damn fool said that you were the best.
Duffy! You son of a...
Oh, you got a stew cooking, baby.
All right, motherfuckers. Welcome to Sunday with Buds. Sunday with Buds. I am here with my old friend, Kevin Duffey. We went to high school together. We were in bands and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, man.
We used to argue about music.
Sure.
Yes, but now we argue about movies.
Yes.
Because he's got his dope podcast, or what do you call it, a vlog?
I call it a vlog, yeah.
Vlog. The Angry Bostonian.
Loud Bostonian.
Already I fucked it up. The Loud Bostonian.
It's okay. It's cool, man. I, for like weeks, was like, remember Roberto's podcast is called Sunday with Buds, so I don't fuck
Yeah,
it
my
up.
podcast has no meaning whatsoever. Literally, Sunday with Buds is just because I left it as vague as possible. But his is actually pretty dope. And unlike my studio, he actually has like cool stuff on the wall. You know,
You got
like
cool stuff on the wall, man. You
Yeah,
got the
it's just
Millennium
that-
Falcon sitting up there.
the
on top
Millennium
of your
Falcon, but
PA.
I don't even think that camera can even see it. The problem is I have like this room is so narrow and shitty. Like I love those two posters right there. I don't even think that camera captures it. But I'll figure it out at some point. Maybe when I move
Dude,
out.
just get a couple wall mounts for the corners, and then you can get like the corner angle coming in like a real, like Joe Rogan's angles and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got to get some decent cameras. I'm using these knockoffs. But anyway, we just did his vlog.
Yes, we did.
The Loud Bostonian, and it was about The Predator, which we just got out of like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. And
It's weird Kevin Spacey being in that movie.
I know. I can't believe they managed to chop him out altogether.
I know. They had to replace him with
Jake Busey.
I was gonna say Giovanni
Ribisi. No, but so we had plans for the longest time to do an all Predator podcast based on a Facebook post that he made way back in the day, where we were arguing about like the best action movies of the '90s. We were like fucking Terminator 2, fucking Die Hard, Predator.
To iterate on that started because I said that the Predator is the my wording on it was poorly. I said it was the greatest action movie of all time. What my intention was, it has the greatest action of any movie of all time.
Oh, okay. So best cinematic action of all time.
I think so. Like pound for pound, from start to finish, that movie, the action in that movie is like par none the best in my opinion.
You know what's weird that you say that is that, so we're just going to dive right in, is that I think it has the least amount of action.
What?
Well, compare it to T2.
So you guys bringing up T2?
No, but look at the amount of action in T2. Think of that scene at the end where they get toward the fucking steel plant, where that fucking 18-wheeler flips over. Schwarzenegger jumps on the hood, grabs the fucking M4 through the windshield, and then jumps off the side, turns the wheel, and it comes off the turnstile.
Yeah.
There is some in the soundtrack's going dun, 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 dun. Like that is like hardcore 1990 action right there.
Oh, come on. That's just as cool as Arnold Schwarzenegger being like, I'm just going to walk into this camp full of fucking guerrilla soldiers. And you know what?
Oh, you're talking about that one scene in
I'm going
Predator.
to cut I'm going to cut this thing that they got using as a
And then
as
he
a
does
here.
he
And
does pick up a car.
He picks up a car and
Yeah.
literally just throws it into a building.
Yeah. So, for all you guys watching, the last podcast, we were plagued by the fact that most of the listeners probably hadn't seen The Predator yet. I know all you motherfuckers have seen Predator from 1987, which is hilarious because there's a moment in The Predator where, what's his name? The black guy.
Sterling K. Brown.
Sterling K. Brown goes, these motherfuckers have visited the planet before. 87, 97. And I leaned over to Andy during that part, and I just went, Predator 1, Predator 2.
Yeah.
I love that's what he's referring to.
In that scene, too, I love because he glosses over the fact that, like, it's like, AVP AVP Requiem.
We don't want to talk about the fact that they went to Mexico once and they were in the pyramids or whatever the fuck happened in those.
Antarctica.
Remember the time the Predator teamed up with that girl to fight the xenomorphs? Oh shit. Anyway.
Yeah, those the other Predator movies aside from Predator 1 and like Predator 2 really are pretty fucking terrible.
Dude, they couldn't even get the costumes right in Aliens versus Predator. They were bulky. And, like, when they would run, you would see them bouncing.
Yeah.
And didn't Paul W.S. Anderson do AVP?
He did.
And I love me some Paul W.S. Anderson, man. Like, he's ridiculous, but he's a great action director. Like, he did all the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah.
Terrible movies.
Terrible movies.
Terrible. But he's good at doing action. And what I loved about this new movie, if we can talk about The Predator for a moment, is that the Predator became lean again.
Yes.
He became like an athlete again.
To be fair, and I hate AVP Requiem, the Predator in that movie, he was super lean. They call it.
Was it really?
I believe he's called the Wolf Predator. He's
if
like
the
my
skinny
Yocha lore
Predator?
is up.
Yocha.
But that and he was badass. He was honestly.
Yeah, he was badass for a
taking
shitty movie.
Shitty movie, but all the scenes with him actually taking out the Predator or the aliens was that like if you just give me the clipped montages of him just taking out the aliens and you told me that's what the whole movie was, I would have gone into AVP Requiem happy if that was the whole movie. But it wasn't.
He's supposed to be like a basketball player. Like a little bit of a sort of a more jacked, basketball player. When you watch AVP, he's like a wrestler wearing floppy armor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what's funny? In the Predator looked dope in this last movie, The Predator. Mm-hmm. They still have not topped the 87
classic
version.
No.
How have they not been able to top it?
Well, this new Predator, I feel like every time he comes out,
And I'm not talking about the big one.
I know.
I'm talking about
classic,
the Jungle Hunter.
Yeah. So I hated his mask. Like he had this little like mouthpiece thing. Like I love the classic mask where it's just like one piece of steel with the eyes.
I made that mask in second grade out of fucking paper mache.
Awesome.
I made it in fucking second grade.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking
with the
sick.
dreadlocks and everything. It looked dope.
I bet. You should see, man. You fucking fine with that shit's kicking around. Put this on your back, prop. Yeah.
It's gone. It's long gone.
No, but that was the best mask, and then like obviously they used almost the identical costume. Actually, if I remember the behind the scenes enough between Predator 2, they actually used the same template for the guy and the same actor too that was in the costume in both movies. And
he's dead now.
Yeah, he was
he was in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was a tall black guy,
dude.
but I can't think of his
7'2". Yeah.
There's something with him too. I want to say he was a friend of someone who was not the director of the movie, but he was a friend of someone who was on the production team. And they're like, oh, you need like someone who's like this tall or whatever, and like because the guy they were gonna cast.
Well, it was Jean-Claude Van Damme was originally in Predator.
To be the Predator?
Did you not know that?
I did not know that.
Dude, they shot with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Really?
Dude, I'm not gonna play it on here, but when you get home, look up the original story of the Predator. The monster originally was this.
I've seen the monster.
It looked like a bug, right?
So
like
yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was in that costume on the set.
Are you serious? See,
They
knowledge
shot
right
several
there.
scenes with a young Jean-Claude
Dude,
Van Damme.
I know like so much Predator shit, and that is something I never knew.
Look it up. It's hilarious.
I'm gonna look it up. It's gonna be on Wikipedia
And-
as updated by Roberto
Dude,
Torones.
He tells. No, it's on the Wikipedia.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was. You don't have to look it up. I believe you.
No, I'm looking up who played. I think it was like, let's see, Predator movie. I want to know who Predators. Oh my god, that's the Robert Rodriguez one.
Yep.
Predator movie.
And that's my problem with the Robert Rodriguez one too. Is they like I'm sick of movies being like, let's make it bigger and better.
It's like
Dude,
Aliens.
Do the goddamn classic.
Yeah.
Do the classic.
Pretty much. So, as the Predator. Okay.
That's honestly, it's probably
Yeah, I mean.
at this point it's a moot point. But
But yeah, so basically what I was trying to say is that I was happy to see a Predator look like a fucking badass Predator.
Right.
Again, you know what I mean? Like, not like that bulky bullshit, And,
I'll tell you what this movie didn't do, or not to keep harping on the Predator, but that movie didn't do. like I love in the first Predator how after the first movie you can't really do it that much, but like how much camouflage is used and how you don't see him and like that
You don't see him for like the first
half of the
hour.
movie.
Yeah.
I'd say the half of the movie you only really get the
and that one part where he swings around the tree and hangs on, and
Kyle
he comes
Weathers
in
sees
and
him.
out, and he goes, oh no, I think it's actually Mac.
Max sees
Oh no, Carl Weathers. He goes, I see it.
I see him.
I see it.
No, that's later though. No,
Yeah,
you're right.
It
Maybe
was Mac.
It is
was,
Mac that sees
and
him.
he goes, "Roosh, roosh," and he
Yep.
goes, ah! And he starts running, and that's where that big where they chop down the whole forest part.
Yeah. Bill Duke.
Bill Duke, yeah.
From
Yeah.
Commando.
Yeah, doesn't he say like I eat pieces? No, he says like oh, this old Green Beret is gonna kick your motherfucking ass.
Yeah, that's right. Love it. It's so good, man.
And then he ends up throwing his body over the fucking hill. I think.
Yep.
So I think what we were trying to say is we were talking about action movies and how Predator is probably one of the best action movies ever.
Definitely. I will concede that. When you guys were bringing up T2, I immediately was saying in that argument that T2 is the better movie.
Maybe, but maybe not.
T2 is like my argument. It wasn't that it's the best action movie of all time. It's to me when I watch Predator, like every set piece of action, I'm like, man, that's fucking great. I just love every action piece that they choose. In that movie.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
why. So, and I gotta give it to my buddy Scott. When I remember when like this was when Blu-ray players first came out, right? And like he was like, dude, you gotta come over and watch the Predator on Blu-ray. It's like you're there. And I remember he pulled it up and we were watching it, and literally like when Arnold's like pushing past like leaves and that shit just like was just hanging there. I'm like, my God. I'm like, the fucking Predator's gonna get us. We need to shut this movie off.
You know, it's fucked up. I think I have 4 Blu-rays, and you could see all my DVDs. I think I have about 300 DVDs right there.
Yeah.
I have 4 Blu-rays.
One of them's the Predator.
One of them's Predator.
There you go.
Predator, Ninja Turtles from 1990, Iron Man, and The Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton. That's all I have.
Yeah.
Oh, and weirdly enough, I got Slumdog Millionaire. I don't know why. I just saw it in a bargain
So
bin
2.5
at Walmart.
of those movies are good.
I love Slumdog. I've only watched it that one time when
Me
I
too.
bought it, but you know, it's good. It won an Oscar, didn't it?
It did.
But Predator has this thing of like, you know, when you go back to, it's what, 87 is the year I was born. So what else came out that year? Did Lethal Weapon come out in 87?
I think Lethal Weapon was 89.
Really?
I think it was
because I know
89.
Die Hard was 88. And I think Lethal Weapon came out right before. Or they
Okay,
were
maybe it
both
was
Christmas
88
releases. I don't know. You know what? I hate doing this, but I have to look it up.
Sometimes you gotta know the facts,
I'm
man.
pretty sure Lethal Weapon was 87, but you might be right. Lethal.
No, I'm probably not right.
Also Shane Black, by the way.
You know what? I know that Shane Black was writing Lethal Weapon, and they called him in to do some rewrites on Predator.
1987. So it came out March of 87, so just before Die Hard.
Okay.
And it was like, you know, one of the first big fucking action movies, you know. It's still a little corny to me at some points. But Predator doesn't have that. You know, Predator has that weird sort of, I mean, with the exception of some of the, like, our favorite dialogue of, like, what's the matter? CIA got you pushing too many pencils? You know, like
Stick around.
Stick around. That shit can go.
It can't. It's perfect.
It's great. No, it's great. It's great. But it doesn't fit into the quality of the rest of the movie.
You're right.
You know what they were trying to do with those lines, right? They were trying to get another "I'll be back."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were trying to, because "I'll be back" was not meant to be a catchphrase from Terminator 1. But it ended up taking the fucking nation by storm.
Right.
And the studios were like, holy fucking shit, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then you got Eraser, all those movies, they all have a catchphrase.
Oh, yeah.
Remember in
It was
Eraser?
Arnold's thing.
Remember in Eraser where he shoots the alligator in the face and he goes, "Your luggage." They wanted another one always from him.
Dude,
and none of them took. You know, like,
well, I hope you leave enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram it into your stomach
Rip
and
out
break
your-
your goddamn spine. Like, that's just like Arnold literally, like, I can't tell you how many times I've gone down the rabbit hole of just listening to all the clips of all the Arnold dialogues clipped together on YouTube. I've done it too many times to count. And people hear me at my desk just laughing to myself. They're like, what is wrong with him? I'm like, Arnold, man, he gets me.
he gets me. But, you know, I don't know how to put it, but like, all right, so that first action sequence in Predator is amazing. So many explosions, but I think one of my favorite parts of Predator is that fucking helicopter ride over. You know what I mean?
It's incredible.
Where they got fucking, oh baby, yeah, baby.
Is that
And they're all-
little Richie? Is that little Richard?
Yeah, I think
Richard?
it is.
Yeah.
And
Little Richie.
little Richie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like that part holds up. So, oh man,
It's great. See, that's believable dialogue between a couple of like hardened like army guys, you
Yeah.
know, and they like that's where the Predator sucks because it's like they have comedic moments, and Shane Black's he's trying too hard to get those moments back, but it's just so natural between all those characters on that chopper.
so I guess that's where I'm going with this is comparing all the other Predator movies to the first one.
Yeah.
And basically, it's like the first Predator movie had the balls to just take its time.
Yeah.
And I think that's I don't even think they knew it at the time, but that's just like a product of the 80s.
It's the Jaws factor. It's we're not going to show you the thing you want to see until it's right. And
Yeah.
then with this
and it might even be a matter of budget, especially with Jaws, where it was like all we have for you are the
is
characters.
this big fucking stupid animatronic
Yes.
shark. So
And in the meantime, all we can do is show you characters.
yeah.
And then Jaws especially happened to craft some of the coolest fucking Quint, Brody and Richard Dreyfuss fucking what's his name?
Hooper.
Hooper.
Yeah.
Dude, the way just them interacting was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The same way with in Predator, like
Well, I don't think anyone in Predator is quite as amazing as Robert Shaw in Jaws.
No.
But
Well,
it's that guy, by the way. Like, have you ever read like the set interviews with people about Robert Shaw on that set? Dude was fucking hammered every day.
I mean, it kind of showed through in the performance, right?
Incredible.
Them 100
He was-
men went into the water.
Yeah. He's,
800 men came out August of 14th.
you ever see a shark? He's got a doll's eyes,
Yeah.
black eyes, until he
sure.
bites you and they roll over white.
Oh, that horrible pounding and hollering and screaming.
Farewell in the duty fair Spanish.
And the way he laughed, he laughed like Ramos.
It's a good laugh. I love
Shout out to you, Ramos. But anyway.
Yeah, they got there was some great actors in Jaws, but the Predator is fantastic because what that film does that I just love is they build the characters that you're gonna eventually obviously you're gonna lose them,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
of course.
they without having to delve into so much backstory, they give you all those characters in the first time you see them. Like the first line you get from Jesse Ventura's character, you're like, this guy's the best. I'm a
Guy's awesome,
goddamn
yeah.
sexual
Tyrannosaurus.
Tyrannosaurus. And then same thing with all of them. I mean, maybe Poncho is probably the weakest character, but
I like Poncho.
you do
You know why?
because he looks like Nomar Garcia Parra.
Well, because he's Hispanic, for one. I like him for that. But also, remember when he grabs her and goes, "Give it a caviste." He's like
Yeah.
interrogating her.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, he's like the only one who speaks solid Spanish out of all these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yet they're diving into like Bolivia or
Yeah,
wherever
yeah,
the fuck. Like,
Well, dude, when you're gonna kill everybody in your path, you don't need to be able to speak the language.
and Poncho has the worst death out of everybody. He gets fucking whacked by a big tree trunk, and then he's like, "No, I can make it."
I would have been like, just leave me.
Yes, and then he gets shot in the fucking face.
Yep.
But yeah, like and you got Hawkins. Fucking shout out to you, fucking
Shane Black.
Shane Black yourself. What happened to you, man? You used to be thin. You could have stuck to a diet.
Well, now he's sitting behind the director's chair. He doesn't have to be asked to hike through the jungles of Bolivia.
That's true. That's true.
Did you ever hear the? So obviously they were actually like out in the middle of the jungles doing all that stuff, and like literally they were training all these actors to go out and do it. And they go to Jesse Ventura, and he was an actual Marine or Ranger or whatever he was.
Navy SEAL.
Navy SEAL.
Technically, at the time, he was an underwater demolitions. Yeah, he was one of those guys.
So he's
A frogman.
He
if you
loves
will.
it. He said in an interview with him, he's like, I got all these pussy actors. I gotta drag them through the woods, and he's like, they're trying to tell me how to do it. I'm
Bunch
like,
of
"Don't-"
slack-jawed fraggots
yeah.
around
He's
here.
like, you don't gotta tell me how to do it, son. He's like, I eat, breathe, and live this shit.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. And the so his reaction to all the dragging Shane Black through the woods, like that must have been fantastic.
People forget Arnold was also in the military in Austria.
He was.
Well, in Austria at the time, there was a requirement for you to be in the military.
That makes sense.
So when he was, that's kind of like his story. It was When he was 17, he was inducted into the Austrian military.
National Guard or whatever.
And when he was in there, he was a young guy, light, of course, and he was bodybuilding as much as he could. And there's a story where he sneaks out to go to a competition in the middle of the night. He leaves the barracks, he fucking walks, hitches a train, whatever the fuck. Goes, yeah, but he's meaning to come back the next day. He's not trying to go AWOL.
Okay.
And according to the story, I don't even know if it's true or not, is that he didn't even have his own little Speedo. He had to borrow one from one of the other bodybuilders. Point being, he went there, he snuck out of his, barracks, and he won the competition. This is at like age, I think.
So that kickstarts his whole wanting to be Mr. Universe.
So I think he already knew, but he had no aspirations of going to America yet at this point.
Right.
He wins. He gets back. I believe he gets caught trying to get back in, but he wins the fucking competition because he's fucking Arnold.
Yeah.
Genetically gifted, right?
Right.
And lore has it that when he comes back in, they catch him, they punish him, quote unquote, but they go, wait a minute, you won? You're going to bring great pride to our country, you know? So what they do is his second year in the military from age 17 to 18 or 18 to 19, whatever it is.
Sure.
They feed him all the fucking meat and potatoes because they station him in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And he can take whatever he wants. Steak,
wow,
potatoes, whatever. And they made a gym for him.
That's awesome.
And he gained about 18 pounds of muscle in 1 year.
That's crazy.
From age like 19 to 20 or 18 to 19, something like that. And a lot of people go, well, didn't Chris Hemsworth put on 40 pounds of muscle for Thor? That shit is bullshit. Never believe any of that shit. That's called HGH and bullshit.
And not for nothing, no star out there right now that's like an actor is ever as big as Arnold was when he was in his prime.
And I'm not taking anything away from Chris Hemsworth. The dude's a fucking beast. But the human physique can only put on about 10 pounds of muscle per year.
Yeah.
That's a fact. When they go, Leonidas put on 20 pounds of muscle in 4 months, that's bullshit. It's not real.
Yeah, and they also have proved that they CGI'd abs and stuff.
Maybe or maybe not, but they're not CGIing Hemsworth.
No, they are not.
No, the dude's a fucking beast. But what I'm saying is that in that year, when you're that age, when you're 17 to 18, 16 to 17, you can put on that much if you have the right training.
Sure.
And he dedicated himself, and that's all he fucking did, you know? And then in the next couple of years, he made his way to America. He started a real estate business. He became a bricklayer with his Italian bodybuilder friend. Then he became Mr. Olympia. He was already a millionaire before he became an actor.
Right.
But, he was buying old buildings and renovating them.
Sure.
The dude is a hero of mine. He's fucking amazing, Arnold Schwarzenegger,
I feel like we're leading this conversation into the Always Sunny aspect where we're going to be like, dude, Carl Weathers was way more ripped than Arnold. He's naturally more gifted.
Carl Weathers is awesome as well, but I'm just saying that by the time he got to Predator in 87, he was already set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dude, he's actually kind of small in Predator.
Yeah.
If you look at him.
He's leaning
compared to people look at Terminator 1 in 84, and he's all huge.
Yeah.
You know how old he was in Terminator 1? They go, that's young Arnold. That's young Arnold in Terminator 1. You know how old he was?
26.
38.
38?
In Terminator 1.
No way.
He was 38.
Oh, dude, how old is he now then? He's got to be 86.
Pretty fucking old. By the time T2 came around, he was in his 40s, if you can believe it.
Oh my god.
The guy he already
Your
had
time, see, dude,
he had a life.
Your timeline's blown my mind.
I know. I don't know what it has to do with the action in Predator 1, but I'm just saying that the man had a life before he even started movies.
Yeah.
The dude was a go-getter.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
And that's what all you motherfuckers need to understand about Schwarzenegger. He's a great man. I don't care if he fucked the maid. He's a great man.
Yeah. And you know what? He's raising that little bastard like it was his own now, so he's a really good dad.
And have you seen that little bastard? He looks just like him, but just a little brown.
Yeah.
Like the Mexican. He's got that spice between his teeth.
Yeah. It's incredible. Yeah, they'll do that. Dude, you know, in a few years they're gonna be with the wall in Mexico. The next Terminator is gonna be about fucking
Break down the wall!
down on the other side. And they're gonna get him to play the Terminator.
Wait. So it's gonna be the Mexican Terminator on the other side of the wall trying to get over?
Yeah.
Yo, fuck you, Trump! Yo, I'm here! Climb me!
Come kill me!
Yo,
But the,
human ladder! Yo.
It's funny. The more you are doing your Arnold voice, the better you're doing at it.
You gotta warm up the vocal
You really
cords.
do. It's not easy
like
to
in
jump
Conan,
right into
he's
Arnold.
like,
You think you're bad? You're a fucking choir boy compared to
Choir boy!
It's,
See, I'm glad that we're talking about this stuff because, I mean, there's only so much to talk about when it comes to the first Predator.
no, there's tons to talk about. You got to dive into the characters, bro.
All right.
You got to talk about them. I mean, everybody gets their moment to shine, but nobody more so than my man Bill Duke.
I was
Mac-
just about to say, the best character might be Bill Duke.
He is the
I'm
best
gonna have
character.
me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun. Oh, tall Sally, she feels sweet. You know what he's singing there? The song from the helicopter.
Yeah. Yep.
Everything that I've gonna need, oh baby.
Yeah. It's the only thing I'm ever
I'm
seen.
gonna,
It's
I'm gonna
amazing.
have me some fun.
Over here. And then he's got dude when he's like, here's what we're gonna do here. He's like, I'm gonna make my way down there toward him. You go around. I'm gonna flush him towards you.
And he goes, yeah, I see him.
That's one
I
of the
see him.
I see him. That's one of the best deaths in any movie ever because he's crawling out there. And that's so good because it's one of the
You
first
think
times.
he's gonna do something heroic.
Yeah, but then the audience
just gets shut
knows
down.
before he does, and I love that. No,
But
dude,
guess
the
who got
arm.
that?
It's on the arm first.
It's on the arm first, and
Yeah.
then he goes.
Yep.
But guess who got that death in this movie? Fucking Theon Greyjoy got that death.
Yeah,
He got that, and he goes,
hit.
and he got his arm shot off,
like Carl Weathers.
and he picks him up. So it was a combo
Of
between
both,
Bill
yeah.
Duke and Carl Weathers. Yeah.
It's like how
Spoiler alert.
No, it's all good. Nobody cares about the Predator.
No one cares about the Predator.
But the so that's amazing because the audience sees that he's gonna bite it before he does, and you're just like, oh no, not Mac. He's the best. But that scene, like that still to this day is one of my favorite like choices that the director went with to get the death. When you see the underside of the skull being blasted out, and they just like
it's just-
pool blood. So like, I'm curious how they got that actual blood to pool on like lens like that. I'm wondering because back in the day, I imagine it's a bucket with the lens cut in right into it, and they're just like, let's drop some blood in there.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
pretty much. Maybe yeah. That's
Yeah.
pretty much how they did it.
Yeah, I love that. He was fantastic. And then obviously Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers was fantastic. And I said this to you earlier. How is Carl Weathers not in TV anymore or in anything? I mean, his from the 80s and the Rocky movies and the Predator.
Maybe he had a couple rough years or something.
I don't
Like,
know,
maybe
man.
He hasn't stayed in shape. I
After
don't know.
Happy Gilmore when he was Chubbs Peterson, I'm like, this
Chubbs.
guy's gonna be in everything. The wooden hand.
Wooden hand.
I mean, dude, Carl Weathers is fantastic. He should be the grandfather in any sitcom on TV right now.
Seriously.
How is he? He's funny and charming, and everybody loves fucking Apollo Creed.
As we were watching The Predator, we were watching the trailers, and I wrote down, okay, Creed, Halloween in mid-90s, but then I also wrote down Overlord, which maybe we won't get a chance to talk about. But
I hope not.
I mean, that's basically Call of Duty Nazi zombies, right?
That's exactly what it is.
All right, so we're done with that.
Yeah, it's over.
All right, so check that off the list. But Creed, I mean, that's where that motherfucker could pop up, right? Like in flashbacks or something like that. Have they done any flashbacks in those movies? Was he?
How are you gonna do a flashback? He's so old now. I mean,
That's true. You're right.
I mean, I don't think the Creed budget's got the like Iron Man. Let's make Robert Downey Jr. like 17 again. But
that
like,
sucks. You're right. Yeah,
the
you're
budget.
right. Well, dumb me.
Unless you
Man.
want it, dude. Unless you straight up, and this would be the greatest movie of all time. If in Creed 2 they do like a Happy Gilmore, Chubbs in the background, like waving thing after he takes out Drago's son.
Or like a Return of the Jedi,
Yeah,
where he's like old at that point.
dude.
All right.
Imagine if they do a Force Ghost.
A Force Ghost Apollo Creed.
It doesn't make any sense, but it works somehow.
Dude, you know what's so funny is that back in the day, I'll never forget. I haven't had this on the screen the whole time, and I just realized that just now. My bad.
It's all right, dude. We're gonna go
Listeners.
back and patch it in there, like right.
No, we won't, because I don't care. No, but I'll never forget that there was this one time as a kid. All right, so let me tell you Do you remember the first time you saw Predator?
Yes, I do.
Tell me first.
So we were at my cousin's house in Duxbury, and my dad, he'd seen it before, I guess, on TV and whatever. I had never seen it. I had a very unsupervised childhood as far as watching movies goes.
Yeah.
And like every time I went to the movie store, I got to rent whatever the hell I wanted. Lots of horror movies, lots of shit I shouldn't have been seeing at the time. And Predator was one that I'd never seen. And my cousins in Duxbury were like, "Oh, we love this movie Predator, you're gonna love it." And I remember they put it on TV, and I sat down and watched the whole thing, and I was like, "That's my favorite movie." And like, and that's crazy at the time because back then, like, it was nothing for me was better than like Over the Top,
Over the Top,
like like Rocky 2 or something like that. But yeah, that was it had to have been early '90s that I saw it. But it was I do remember it very distinctly.
So that was when you first saw it?
Yes.
Okay. So you had a very liberal childhood in that respect where you could rent whatever you wanted?
Yes.
I did not.
No.
Dude, my mother was so strict. And my parents were separated. So when we were with her, we had a thing called Pizza Movie Night.
Okay.
Where every Friday, it was awesome. We'd go to fucking Roast Beef Roundup.
Sure.
And then there was Top 20 video right
Yeah,
next
I
door
remember
to it.
that. Yeah.
Yep. And we go to Top 20, and we rent something like Nell.
Yeah.
Or like
God.
Tin Cup. Or whatever 1994 movie was out at the time.
Dude, Tin Cup at least is funny.
Tin Cup I actually watched on a plane on my way back from Florida when I was a kid.
I think even as a kid, I'd be like, I'm not watching anything with Richard Gere.
Like Mothman Prophecies.
I have a funny story with Mothman Prophecies.
But anyway, so Predator actually features into how I saw Die Hard for the first time.
Okay.
My mom and dad were divorced. Actually, just separated. My dad's addicted to crack and all sorts of cool stuff. And my mom raised...
Butt crack?
No, I wish. I wish he was just gay. No, just like crack. Like the
Jesus
kind...
Christ.
Yeah, crackhead. So he was out of the picture, but once in a while they would make up, and he'd be like, "All right, so I'll watch the kids for the weekend," and she'd be like, "All right, I'm a waitress." She used to waitress in the North End at like nice Italian restaurants. So when she would leave, man, Dad would come in, and
What do you kids want to watch?
Well, my sister would go to bed. She's like early or whatever. She'd be out with her friends doing whatever, and it would be me and him. And the fucking Predator came on TV, and he was like, "Boom, we're watching that." He passes out on the couch. It's just me in front of the TV. And he'd wake up every once in a while, and he'd be like, "Isn't this dope?" And I'm like, "Fucking, this is dope." And dude, I would just and the same thing with Die Hard, dude. I'll never forget. I was a young kid. Die Hard came out. Die Hard and Predator both came out basically the year I was born, and I watched them when I was about 7 or 8 when Dad was watching us, and they were so enthralling. Like it was a fucking masterpiece of an environment where I was like, "Oh my God, he's putting fucking mud on his face, and he's and he's in the woods all by himself, and he's making a bow and arrow. Oh, he's got these fucking. Oh, he's got the grenade rounds, just like the ones he had on his chest in T2. Except he takes them out and he unscrews them and he makes them out of leaves and like, dude, it changed my world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I do.
And the fact that he has the Predator for a second, and then remember when he grabs the fucking thing and falls in the creek, and then he tries to crawl out and then bang, and the two spikes go.
Yeah.
I remember that when I was a kid. My dad in the back going, "Watch this shit. Watch this shit."
Awesome.
Him behind me, and I'm going, okay.
I'm watching.
Yeah. And then that was the point where the Predator takes his mask off, and they fucking fight. You know what I mean? We haven't seen that in a Predator movie since the first one.
Yeah.
Just so simple.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just so simple, like, oh, you're a fucking badass? I'm a fucking badass. Like, dude, it's been so complicated.
They were
then.
equals at that point. That's what it comes down to.
Not really, but they were.
No,
you know what I mean? Like
the Predator. That's when you.
Because
that's
immediately,
what makes him a great.
minute the Predator lands the first shot, Schwarzenegger goes,
I'm fucked.
I'm fucking out of here," and he starts running.
Right.
You know what I heard? Like, you know that great panning shot by the feet where they show like his little gauntlet right there and how it's leaking blood.
Yeah.
They had they were breaking open
Glow sticks.
Glow sticks.
Yeah.
And they would only last for a certain amount of time. So basically, that shot right there, they were just basically shooting glow stick material at that.
Yeah.
All right, go, 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 go. Shoot the shot, and then it would go out.
Yeah.
They were doing that for the blood at all times. It's amazing the feats and the lengths that they would go through for those old movies that they don't go through now because they go, oh, fuck it, we'll do it in post. You know what I mean? I admire that so much about old school 80s directors. You know what I mean?
Like
amazing.
injecting the milk into the eyeball in Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Or like,
and then just showing it in reverse.
Or yes, that kind of stuff.
Classic.
Or like, you know, Alien. You know when the what's his name, Bilbo Baggins robot was like,
Yeah.
You know, all that stuff. Amazing, incredible.
Yeah. There's a lot of directors back then really had to like improvise a ton to get shit like that done.
Incredible.
But
yeah, that was the first time I saw Predator, and it was also the first time I saw Die Hard, and I saw T2 in a very similar way, which was in my uncle's bedroom while my mother was away.
Yeah.
It was basically the fact that my mother didn't have anybody to watch us, so she'd rely on my dad and my uncle, and I saw T2, Predator, Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's incredible. Like, so I had so I was like I told you, I was the youngest of 8 kids. So by the time I came around,
oh my god, I keep fucking forgetting that.
so I'm the youngest of 8 kids.
Irish motherfucker.
Yeah, so my mom and dad were just like, just watch whatever you're gonna watch. It's
whatever.
Dude, there's too many.
You watch whatever you want to watch.
Yeah.
We've already had too many children.
And but as far as like movies that they would like got me into, I know we talked earlier off camera about Clue, but like my mom, I'll never forget, the reason I love Clue so much. My mom back in the day, I remember waking up at like 5 a.m. before school, and like Clue was just starting, and she's like, "Oh, this is a funny movie," and like I sat down with her and watched it, and I was like, "This is a funny movie." Like you're right, and I was like maybe in not middle school, but maybe like 5th grade, and I was like, "This is a funny movie."
Yeah.
And then similarly with my dad, I remember he was home one day on a Saturday from work, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly came on. He goes, "Now I love this movie." He's like, "Kev, you should watch this movie." I sat down with him, and I'm like, "Dad, I don't give a shit about westerns." He's like, "You like this one?" And I sat down with him. He's like, and like I watched the whole thing, and I'm like, "This movie's fantastic!" Like, oh my god, they each have a different piece of the map and all that.
One
stuff.
is good, one is bad,
and the Mexican guy's ugly.
the Mexican guy's obviously the ugly
Yeah.
one, and that's how I learned to be a racist. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But no,
That is, dude.
So those are the 2 movies right there that like from my parents were like I love those movies as a result of them telling me that they love those movies. And there's the only 2 moments I've ever had movie wise with them, other than the time that my mother never took me to the movies ever. I always went with my sisters or with my friends.
I know where this is going. I know.
She took me.
Tell me.
She took me to see Spawn when it came out.
Wait, is that the one with Michael Jai White?
Yes.
Yeah.
She took me to see Spawn, and she was like, "Okay, we'll go to movies." I'm like, "Oh, I really want to see Spawn," and it was like rated R, and she's like watching this thing, and it's like John Leguizamo is like gross and like super vulgar, and it was awful. And my mother's like, "This movie is disgusting." She's like,
was it her idea?
No, so she wanted to go to the movies with me because she'd never taken me to the movies. I always went with, maybe she took me to see Fern Gully or something when I was a kid.
Fern Gully.
Yeah, but like
I'm Betty.
Yeah, horrible.
Anyway.
But
I love Fern Gully. Fuck you.
Yeah, I love Fern Gully too. I didn't like the remake so much.
Robin Williams?
I didn't like the remake with.
I didn't even know there was a remake.
Yeah, you know the one that James Cameron did with the blue fucking.
Oh,
cat
Avatar.
creatures.
You're right. Sorry, that was a remake of Fern Gully. Duh.
Yeah, but so she took me to see Spawn, and she was like, "Oh, really nice movie you picked," and like I was like, "I'm sorry, Mom, I didn't know there'd be so much vulgarity in it. I was a superhero character. It's Image Comics. I love him." Like. And it was horrible, and it was ever since then. She was like,
"How old were you at the time?"
Oh, Spawn came out 96, so I had to have been 10, or maybe Spawn was 98, so it was like 12,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was
I have a similar story like that.
Yeah.
Spawn. No.
Film 1997.
1997.
So yeah, I was 11 years old.
All right, so oh my god. Yes.
What a sound effect. Good timing.
Yeah. So when my dad took off, my mother was basically left to like, entertain me all the time. I have a hilarious birthday story where it was the year the movie Scary Movie came out, and it was my birthday, and I wanted to go see Scary Movie.
Sure.
She didn't know what the fuck it was, and she took me and like 6 or 7 of my friends, including my little sister who was like 2 years younger than us, all to go see Scary Movie. Yeah. And oh my god, You remember Scary Movie?
Yeah.
Fucking genius at the time.
It really is.
It still holds up to this day.
Is that written by Marlon and
The Wayans brothers.
and
well, I
the
mean,
other brother
did you see
Wayans, yeah.
Don't Be a Menace in South Central?
Yeah.
That was the sequel to Don't Be a Menace.
Was
Scary
Scary
Movie.
Movie.
Yeah, for fuck's sake. Dude, Don't Be a Menace is, to this day, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Every time I walk into
Message!
every time I walk into a convenience store, I'm like, man, I
Niggas!
wish that thing would chime like that just once for me.
Ding dong!
Yeah, but
Niggas!
I don't know.
Hurry up and buy!
Yeah,
And she goes, hey, Miss Lady Bitch, hey, how much for this candy bar? $5. $5? Better give me some sucky with that $5. Love me long time or something.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, you definitely remember Don't Be a
Dude,
Menace.
I
more than
love
do.
that movie.
But from Scary Movie, one of my favorite lines, and I like when I was in we were in high school, whatever.
2000 on the dot.
So when I was,
July 7th. My birthday is July 26th. That's how I know.
There you go, man.
There we go.
But to this day, not to this day, I haven't done it in a long time, but I remember like whenever I used to my friends would be like, oh, let's go out and we'll go to the mall or whatever, and be like, oh, we'll try on different shirts and shit like that. I used to always do the shirt flip thing, and be like, yo, does this shirt look gay? And it's like, how about now? Yeah. Like to this day, I still think
about now?
I still think that's one of the funniest things that like you get.
Or
it's so
like
simple.
in the intro when he's like, oh, yo, should I wear these Nikes with this Uzis?
I'll just
Or should
wear
I-
my bunny slippers.
I'll just wear these then. And he's got the fucking he goes, or should I wear these Adidas with these whatever? He's like, man, my dad was never around. Like, dude, that movie was the first parody of like all the gangster movies. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Of like, you know,
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood, fucking Menace to Society. I mean, it was kind of all in the title, wasn't it? Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. But yeah, I don't know how we got on this from Predator. 80s movies, man.
Your vlog is whatever you want it to be.
Well, mine Sunday with Buds is loose form.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like in my head, I've been feeling a little bit of pressure to keep it on Predator. But it's like you and I already know everything about Predator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and we just did the Predator review.
We
So
did
honestly,
kind of shoot our wads in yours, yeah, for sure.
So honestly, if we can talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about.
Good. Because we still got like 10 more minutes to go, I think. Oh, let me see real quick. Yeah, we've been going for like, I'll chop this part out. 30, 45. Yeah, we got like 15 minutes left.
Yeah, dude, whatever you want to talk about. I love the nostalgia trip down movies that we've seen over the course of your lives in theaters and stuff.
Honestly, I would like to talk to you about, where you see the MCU going.
Okay, so that is an interesting thing that I've had a lot of time to think about. So obviously,
check out what I've had paused for the last 2 months. It's been on this scene for the last 2
Infinity
months.
War. Yeah. So it's interesting that this is where you pause it because I notoriously loved Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Love it. Hey.
I love
What's
Guardians
the
1.
matter?
Despise Guardians 2.
Really? Why?
I think it is the biggest piece of shit that has ever been put out by the MCU.
I think you're crazy.
Dude, everything that's good about Guardians 1 is the fact like the characters are the characters are funny, the ones that should be funny, right? Drax is only funny because he is oblivious, right? That's what's funny about the first one, right? Rocket's funny because he's an asshole, and Quill's he's overall just a funny character, right? Gamora's not funny, she shouldn't be, and Groot is his just as I'm Groot. In Guardians 2, every character is like giving you their like 5 minutes of stand up like every time they're on screen.
Sure.
And it took me out of the movie.
Honestly, except for Peter.
He's not funny in the second
Peter's not
one.
funny at all.
He isn't. And in the
He's a
plot-
badass for 5 seconds.
The plot of the sequel is the stakes are so fucking low, and it's only Peter's story.
It's Peter's story.
Yeah, but I hated it. I hated it.
But also it's Gamora's story.
So the Gamora Nebula stuff is good. The Yondu story in general is good.
It's so beautiful.
Those are good parts, but
It's a Ravager funeral.
I loved the first Guardian so much that I was so excited for the next one. And then when it came out, I was like,
Magnificent. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's about to do that.
Benicio del Toro, yeah, he does.
Magnificent. Magnificent.
His brother is Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
So good.
Oh, the Collector. Oh, yes. Oh, the God, Lord of Thunder. Oh, yes.
Oh, look at the sparks.
Oh,
sparkles.
Sparkles. Yes. Find my champion. Yeah.
Well, it's funny here. Time moves slow. See, anywhere else I would be very old, but here I'm. I like when they come in with the melt rod in the
Carlo, I pardon you. Yeah.
from life.
From life.
Good.
Oh!
It's incredible. It's
Ragnarok is amazing.
Ragnarok is the
Bum-ba-da-ba-bum, ba-bum-ba-da-ba-bum. Oh, dude.
Ragnarok is the best version of both He-Man and Thundercats that we were ever gonna get.
Ragnarok is the best Thor movie ever.
Ragnarok, and so this is weird. So this is my paradox.
Remember
here.
Matt Damon? You're like, build me a statue.
Matt Damon, who's in Deadpool 2. Did you know that?
Yes? When he fucking zaps him?
He's the fat guy.
He's one of the hillbillies.
He's the hillbilly fat guy.
Yeah.
But the Thor Ragnarok is funny because I just told you that I hated Guardians 2 because of the jokes. But Taika
Guardians 2 is
Waititi,
awesome.
Taika Waititi is one of my favorite. I love New Zealand.
I'll send you a
guys.
great link on Taika. He does a hour and a half masterclass, like an interview.
Really?
Where he talks about where he began from, all that stuff. I'll find it's on No Film School.
Yeah.
Get on nofilmschool.com, dude.
I will.
I'll send you a link, and then from there you can find all the articles
Sure.
you want. But I watched it today. Beautiful.
I love Taika
Beautiful.
Waititi. So even
He's playing Hitler soon
I know, I heard that.
in his new movie.
I know.
But anyway,
He's an imaginary friend, right, to a kid. That's the premise. He's
sort of, yeah.
He's an imaginary friend.
during World War II,
Yeah, and people are like up in arms about it, and then everyone's like, "How can you be up in arms about it?"
No,
This
it's
is the
his biggest fuck you to
Hitler
Adolf
ever.
Hitler ever. Yeah, a Maori Jew.
Yeah,
He's a Jew
yeah.
playing. Yeah,
I love it. I can't wait to see it.
I'll send you that interview. It's fucking great.
Taika's sense of humor is
Did
so
you know
good.
he didn't discover filmmaking until he was 30?
Really?
He was a painter. He was a painter throughout all of his 20s, and then when he hit 30 is when he went,
I'd like to try film.
Maybe I would like to try this film thing. That's a South African accent, but whatever. But anyway, yeah.
So
he
I
was,
never saw Taika's first film that he made.
Boy, and
I never saw Boy.
He's got several shorts.
Hunt for the Wilder People. I love.
But you saw,
and I love What We Do in the Shadows.
we are werewolves, not werewolves.
Not swearwolves. So good. So
Where
good.
they start floating.
Yeah. Dude.
Why don't we just get some slaves?
No, Deacon, I don't want to tell you this because I know you're a cool guy. Well, thanks for saying I'm a cool guy. It's like it's the best. What We Do in the Shadows, honestly,
fuck
best vampire movie of all time.
Dude, the intro. Oh,
So good. I was walking along the pathway selling my goods, selling my wares, and then this creature comes upon me. And it was Peter. It was Peter. I love it.
hello, Peter.
I knew that movie was up my alley in the first scene. When
Yep.
Taika Waititi's rising out of the coffin and
Yep.
he can't make it.
And he's
like,
going,
and then he can't make it, so he's gotta like stretch.
Yeah, and he's like- and he's
clever. So clever. Oh my god. Best vampire movie of all time. And I love the Lost Boys callback in it. Like any of the Lost Boys scenes. Or it's just so good. He's like, you're eating worms. And then he's like,
do you like Paschetti?
Paschetti. Just the choices. Yeah. Incredible. And then that is the best vampire movie of all time.
It's fucking amazing.
Best movie.
All right, so they were gonna do the sequel called "What We Do in the Moonlight."
Yeah.
For the werewolves.
The werewolf pack.
Oh, and what pisses me off is that me and my friend Ronnie had an idea for a song called "Werewolves," aka "We're Wolves." Like, you know,
We Are Wolves.
We are. That's what they're calling the sequel. Is "We're Wolves."
I'm sorry that you should write your song and try to sell it to the movie.
It's not going to really match up. It's just something that we had years before he even came up with it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
The next one is called "The Wolves."
So the
Yeah,
guy
werewolves,
who's
not
the
werewolves.
leader of the pack in What We Do in the Shadows with the werewolves, that New Zealand actor, that guy is on a show that I love. Have you ever seen Wrecked on TBS? I kid you not. I think it is the funniest show on television, and it's on
Really?
TBS.
It's a New Zealand show?
No, he's just in it. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
a spoof on Lost, but it is so funny. Like the things that they talk about. Like they're on the in the first season, they're on the island. They're on the plane crash. Same concept of Lost, right? But the dialogue that they have and the back and forth, they literally start trying to remember the name of
TBS.
TBS, wrecked right there. And they're trying. There's a whole episode dedicated to them trying to remember Rose from Titanic's husband's real name, Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
And they can't remember his name. And they're like, oh my God.
The character name?
They're trying to remember his name, Billy Zane.
Oh, Billy Zane.
They're like,
okay.
what was his name? And they're like, I don't know. I can't remember the. And they're like, it's like, what else are we gonna forget being stuck on this island? And it's like literally the entire show is just the whole episode is just them talking about. I'll give you, dude. I have. Oh, here you go.
We're all a bit freaked out, but we gotta remember that we'll survive this.
Is this a season or is it season 3?
No, so this is season 3. You don't want to see this.
No.
It'll ruin it for you. But there's the guy right there.
Oh, that's dude. But he's in Flight of the Conchords.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he's in that too. You get some other shit playing in the background.
Sorry, it's the Avengers.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Obviously.
But yeah, so, dude, that show is some of the best dialogue.
Yeah, dude, he's great in Flight of the Conchords. He's their manager.
So I don't want to spoil
You
the
gotta
show
send
for
me
you.
good
'Cause
chops?
Honestly, I'm going to give you my Amazon password because I have the first 2 seasons. I want
Yeah.
you to watch it because I guarantee you'll think this is the funniest show you've ever seen.
Dude, fuck yeah.
But I don't want to spoil anything for you. But there's one scene with this guy. They vote him to be the president of their tribe or
Yeah.
whatever, and like he goes crazy with power. And there's a character named Kurt Turdhole,
Kurt Turtle. Kurt
and he's like, I tell people it's Turdoli, but it isn't.
Totally.
So, anyways, so he goes mad with power, kills Turdhole, and by the way, there's yeah.
Just one rogue landmine, washed up on shore. Can we not catch one break?
Was that Hemsworth? It looks like Hemsworth.
No, so this guy, that guy right there, he's actually in a sketch comedy show called The Whitest Kids You Know.
Okay.
When they're great, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, watch their sketches on
Right.
YouTube. They're
Yeah,
hilarious.
send me that shit.
But anyway, so he ends up becoming the president of the island, right? And he kills this guy Turnhole, just shoots him dead because people are like, you don't have real powers, Steve. He kills him, and then later they're like, dude, you're a murderer. We don't want anything to do with you. And they're trying to move the body. They find out that Turnhole has all these Nazi tattoos all over him. He's like a total Nazi, and he's like, well, I guess if you're looking at it this way, I'm kind of a hero. They're like, no, you're still a murderer, Steve. And he's like,
And this is all in the first season of the show?
Yeah.
All right. Sounds pretty
He's
cool.
like, I'm kind of a hero if you think about it. He's like, you didn't know he was a Nazi when you killed him. He's still a murderer. But like, dude, it's so good.
That's not a bad Kiwi accent that you're doing there.
I know. I've watched a lot of
It's
this
not
guy.
bad.
That's why.
Yeah.
He also voices the character
Cool.
Koran on Voltron, the series on Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You guys want to get on this big old spaceship and get out of here?
Yeah, Taika though. Taika is so
So
funny.
good.
And I don't know how they and I know that the reason that they in the beginning of Infinity War when they show the half the Asgardians are killed. You're like, well, at least Korg and Valkyrie made it.
I assume Korg, Valkyrie, and a few of the other people we liked got off on this.
Whatever ship they allowed him to get away in.
But come on now, wouldn't Valkyrie stay to fight?
I think if it came down to it and they realized who was attacking them, Thor would say,
Get on there.
I need you to take as many people as you can. We're going to get these
But
other
also,
people.
I mean, there's a lot of story dependent things like why didn't the Hulk attack immediately?
Right.
Why was he waiting for we have a Hulk?
Because
He was waiting for that sentence because we like that.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, it's...
That's one of my favorite fights out of all the movies. Was like when he's like, "Ugh, poosh," and he's like, "Oh," and he throws the knee, the
'cause
fucking Muay Thai
Thanos
kick.
doesn't fuck up, man. Fuck around. He's a goddamn mixed martial artist.
And Thanos beats him without the Power Stone.
Oh, yeah. He
Just
kicks his
straight
ass.
up.
But I'm convinced, so I know you're talking
know
about
what
future
it
of
is
this,
to
and we totally got
lose.
off subject again. But I'm convinced that there's going to be a scene in Infinity War 2,
Yeah.
or whatever the hell they're going to call it. Title-wise, by the way, what do you think the next movie's going to be called before I even finish my thought?
I saw one that looked pretty convincing. And also, the cinematographer leaked the fourth one.
He did?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was called, no, not Secret Wars.
No,
but,
it's definitely not Secret Wars. That's a totally different storyline.
No, let me see.
Well, if you didn't know what the title was going to be, what would you want it to be?
Secret Wars or Eternity or Avengers 4.
Ever.
All right, just forever.
No.
Dun, 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 dun. Hold on. Let me see. How do I spell cinematographer?
Cinema.
There we go. Title.
Leak.
Yeah.
I love when you do this. Endgame.
Endgame. Yeah, because if you go back to
Because Doctor Strange says we're in the Endgame now.
Age of Ultron.
When did they say that in Age of Ultron?
When they first discover that Ultron destroyed his laboratory, including Jarvis, Tony Stark goes, "This is the end game. Mm-hmm. Up there." He goes, "It's up there. This is the end game."
Okay. I kind of hate that title, so I'm mad if that's what it is. Because
Avengers Endgame, I think, is what it will be.
Oh man, I don't.
Hold on, watch this video. I think this might say something. Oh fuck you, ad 2-1.
Well, I don't.
Watchers, how's it going? Will here with a little Avengers 4 news for you. So, thanks to someone with keen eyes over at Omega Underground, we may have found out the title for the future film, and it has been something fans have been speculating since.
I mean, this came out in June, so who knows?
This comes from the website of cinematographer Trent Opalak, who has worked on all the Neil Blomkamp films, as well as the Russo brothers' Marvel movies. On it, he has his resume, which is understandable, which has a list of the films he's worked on, and before it got altered, it actually at one point said above Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame.
There you
This
go.
being a reference to the comment made by Doctor Strange about being in the Endgame now. Now, there's two possible routes for this news to go. Trent accidentally messed up and got a phone call and changed it immediately because accidents happen, or alternatively, the title is a placeholder and it's another fake.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
With several cast members accidentally spoiling things on various occasions, Marvel always stays on their toes with how to react and redirect, even sometimes changing things on the fly to keep them.
I mean, this isn't really the video I was looking for, but
Feige himself is even surprised with how much people are digging into figuring out the title, but it's good publicity, so we'll have to wait.
Well, if it's Endgame, all I can think of anytime anything's called Endgame is fucking Highlander like 5. So that's why I'm like grossed out if that's what it is. I think the movie should just be called, honestly, just Avengers Assemble.
dude, that'd be dope.
That's what it should be called.
That'd be awesome.
Because that's literally, not only is it like a major comic run of the Avengers, but like everybody's split. Everybody's fucking hurt. Everybody needs to get back together and beat Thanos. Avengers Assemble would be a sick title.
I mean, I know there's going to be some element of time travel
Definitely.
in this next movie, like, obviously.
Did you read all the spoiler talk about like, or the theories out there about Doctor Strange? The time stone's the only stone that Thanos doesn't physically touch to put on his gauntlet. So like, he thinks that like whatever spell Doctor Strange put on it is like the time stone is going to revert out of the gauntlet and come back into the hands of Tony Stark.
Maybe. Look, man, they're going to write whatever they're going to write.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever the fuck they want. Like, it's not like Predator. Like, Predator is every Marvel movie happening in Infinity War, I can X out of this.
Yeah.
But anyway, what we started on was Predator, and ow, I'm stepping on my thing. How much time do we have left?
I don't know, but I want to keep talking.
Absolutely. We got a couple more minutes.
But you asked what I thought, where I thought the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going. I would say that after Avengers wrap up, I would be shocked if we don't. They don't like kind of just pump out solo movies for a while, and then I think when the Fox deal goes through, you're gonna see the Fantastic Four come into the play in a big way.
That would be dope.
Especially because I'm pretty sure that they already have John Krasinski on retainer to be Mr. Fantastic.
Do you think John Krasinski is going to be Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah,
really?
there's a lot of speculation out there that John Krasinski is going to be Mr. Fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. He hasn't been swooped up by anybody to be in any of these movies. He was a runner-up for being Captain America.
You're right. He was going to be Captain America, wasn't he?
And everyone's like, he's not even jacked, but now he's fucking huge. He's huge.
Well, now, did you watch Jack Ryan yet?
I watched the first episode and I really liked it, but I haven't picked up since then.
I watched the whole season in one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. You're a big Tom Clancy fan.
Well, I mean, not really, but
It's Jim from The Office kicking ass. I want to see it.
You know what's weird is that I happened to be like I was hungover in bed and I was watching Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, like you,
know?
do.
Yeah, as one does. And I totally skipped over the Affleck ones, and I was like, all right, so there's Clear and Present Danger, and there's Patriot Games with Harrison Ford. And I was like, okay, so then Jack Ryan was played by fucking, Kirk.
Yeah.
I don't really like that guy.
You don't like...
I like him in Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But his eyes are weird, And then you got fucking Thor played his dad in the first movie.
You heard about the issues?
They lost both of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
supposedly.
both of them,
I think
yeah.
they'll probably... I imagine they'll fix that, but... See, I always hated Star Trek my whole life, but I did enjoy the J.J. Abrams reboot when it first came out.
I did too.
Yeah, it was good.
Because I didn't know anything about Star Trek.
Me either.
You know what I mean? It was like perfect for me.
It's funny because growing up, like there was the nerd culture wasn't what it is now.
Yeah.
But like even then, I was like, I'm a fucking Star Wars fan. Like this is
Fucking Star
Get
Wars,
this
bro.
fucking Trek bullshit out
Yeah,
of my fucking
exactly.
face. I don't even know anyone who liked Star Trek growing up.
I didn't either. I knew people who knew things about Star Trek.
Yeah,
but
I
didn't
knew
know
like
anybody.
Patrick Stewart was in Star Trek Next Generation.
Make it so.
I knew Will Wheaton.
And also my dad used to make me watch the TV show Next Generation when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I used to see the fucking the brown guys with the fucking
Klingons.
The Klingons, yeah.
What was his name?
Were they Klingons?
Yeah, he was a Klingon.
No, I thought they were Worf.
Worf's a Klingon.
He's a Klingon?
Yeah,
okay,
the
okay.
fucking, the black dude with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
like
with the
thing up
fucking
his head.
things.
Yeah.
I feel so shitty right now. But dude, that's what I remember from my childhood going, I don't like this show.
Yeah.
I don't dig this. And then my mom
I
showed
hated the
me.
guy who played Worf's acting. He was always like, Captain, I think we're... Whenever his voice, I was just like, I'm out of this show doesn't work for me.
Yeah, and I was
No action.
I just remember being like, I don't dig this fucking show.
Yeah.
Like, and then when I saw Star Wars, I think I saw Star Wars after that.
Yeah.
I think. I was like, oh, this is fucking great. This is amazing.
Well, the thing with Trekkies is they love the science of it and they love the exploration of it. But I'm like, yeah, but there's nothing that happens.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't give a fuck if you land on an alien planet and you're like, well, the bacteria here is something that's causing our ship. How are we getting out?
Show me some powers. Lift something with your hand.
Dude, even the guns are lame. The
Yeah.
phasers, it looks like a fucking TV remote. Like, pew, pew, pew. It's like, really, dude? Han Solo's blaster's sick. Like, give me that
What
shit.
did you think of Solo?
I never saw it.
You didn't watch Solo?
So,
I liked it, dude. I think it was good.
I know that I am
It was good.
the minority in the world in my
You're not a minority.
my hatred of well, my wife's Puerto Rican.
Hey,
Hey, you know what I call my daughter?
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I
yes.
knew it.
You're the first person that's ever
Yeah, because
guessed that
I
joke.
used to call Rob Ramos Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican. Yeah, my daughter's a Puerto Rican.
Definitely a
I
Puerto
love it, and I call her that all the time.
I'm glad I got that.
But that was right away, dude. Holy shit! Would you fucking read my jokes that I submitted before the show?
Well, once you said that your wife was half Puerto Rican, I did the math immediately, and I went quarter.
Jesus Christ, you really, dude, you fucking Matt Damon, Goodwill Hunted that
Well,
shit. You're
because
like, "Bam, bam, you
I
got it."
know the percentage of Hispanic that I am, so I would immediately apply it to your
There you go, man.
poor daughter. She can immediately check other and Latina.
Dude, you should see when I pick her up from daycare. Literally, I come in to get her, and they're like, "That's not your daughter." I'm like, they're like, "Where'd she get the curls from?" Look, dude, my wife's Puerto Rican.
You're like, I'm a human trafficker, okay?
My wife's Puerto Rican, but my kids' curls are out of this world.
What's your wife's Escalon, right?
Escalon? Is what
Yeah,
it's named,
yeah, okay.
But
Nice.
yeah, she was just pumped to get out of the out of being Puerto Rican. She's Duffy now, so maybe someday
as
you can
we
take.
all
Maybe
wish.
someday you could take your wife's last name.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
I'm just
your
kidding.
daughter's a Duffy. Okay.
Yeah. So they see her and they see me picking her up and they're like, "Dude, did you steal this kid?"
Yeah.
But the
You're like, no, I'm like Brad Pitt, Angelina.
yeah, how did we get on this subject from Star Wars and Star Trek?
your wife,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. So you know that I'm in the minority of. That's exactly how we got on the subject.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
in the
not
mi-
a minority, but
I'm
when it
in
comes to,
the minority.
you're a
of
sci-fi minority.
I'm in the minority of of not liking episode
Yeah,
8,
yeah, yeah.
right? So because I didn't like episode 8, then Solo came out and there was all the fucking reshoots and I was like, I don't give a fuck about the Han Solo origin.
Yeah.
And then when it came out, I was gonna see it. Even though I was like, I'm done with Star Wars until the next movie comes out. I don't care about Solo. But then I heard how he gets his name.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Dude, it's just a random trooper just gives it to him.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Why? Why is that not cool?
I don't know. It's just lame.
Maybe it's. Just
I'm
like
by myself. Oh, well, you're solo.
Well, no, it's like a Godfather moment. Remember in The Godfather when he comes up to Ellis Island and he goes, "I'm Vito Corleone," and he goes, "Huh?" And he goes, "No, Vito Andolini was his real name." And he goes, "Your name is Vito from the city of Corleone. Fuck it, you're Vito Corleone. Get out of here." It was that quick.
So
And then he becomes Vito Corleone. Well, his real name was Vito Andolini.
Okay.
But he's from the city of Corleone. And the guy didn't understand. He goes, "Vito, whatever, Vito
So-
Corleone, your name is Vito. You're from the city of Corleone. Fuck it, you're Vito Corleone. Get on your way." It was exactly that moment, but for Han Solo.
Yeah, but it's worse. It's worse.
All right, so you're by yourself. So maybe there are a bunch of Solos out there. Kind of like there are a bunch of Frosts and Jon Snows and, bastard names.
That's true.
He's got a bastard name is what
He
he's
does
got.
have a bastard name.
That's the way I looked at it when I saw it.
I will tell you this, though. I didn't see the movie. I plan on renting it.
It's fucking dope,
I will
dude.
do my review of Rent, Buy, or Steal. And I'll.
All right. Rent,
Solo
buy, or
suit.
steal. Okay.
But I am excited about the Darth Maul cameo that's in it that I've heard about.
It's the weakest part of the movie.
Really?
It comes at the end. It's like a post-credit sequence.
I love that, though.
I love it too.
I love Darth Maul.
Well, now you already know what it is, so it's
I
spoiled.
already did, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That one thing alone
Dude,
led me to want to see her build up
Chewbacca's
to.
intro is the dopest.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Dude, he's all muddy and gross and skinny, and you finally see why C-3PO talks about ripping a person's arms off
Yeah, because he does it.
because he does it. in the
Okay.
movie. It's fucking dope.
Yeah, but doesn't Han Solo speak Wookiee?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
Yeah, he
no,
does.
I think
That's
he
how
does.
he stops
does,
Chewie from
does,
killing
yeah.
him. I've read all the
he
spoilers
speaks
on it.
a
but-
little Wookiee. Yeah, you're right, dude. I haven't seen it since the theaters, and I've been waiting for it to come out on Blu-ray so I can.
Well, it's the movie that
Steal.
killed, dude. It's the movie that killed any side projects they're doing in Star Wars right now. They've canceled all side projects as a result of how poor Solo did.
It's a good movie.
But people hated it. Nobody went to see
It's
it.
a good movie. You might hate it, but it's a good movie.
I believe that you think it's a good movie.
You hated
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. I loved Last Jedi. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Fucking awesome.
Doesn't do it for me. Last Jedi doesn't do it for me.
But you know what? I'm pretty forgiving when it comes to new Star Wars movies because I lived through the prequels.
Yeah.
And anything past the prequels that pays a little respect to the originals, I go, great. That's great. Do it. That's great.
I don't know how in the same breath you could say pays respect to and are
Dude, a
talking
lot.
about episode 8.
Dude, Poe Dameron's scenes are amazing in that movie.
His scenes are good.
The intro with the whole fucking bombers scenes, beautiful stuff.
That is good.
Beautiful stuff.
The space stuff is fine in that movie. My real problem with that movie is that and it's on me. I've even said this before. It's on me because going from episode 7,
Yeah.
which I loved. I know it's just a retread of.
And I love Rogue One also.
I love Rogue One, too.
One's possibly my second favorite Star Wars movie of
so
all time.
it's a retread. Obviously, Force Awakens is a retread of A New Hope. But
Sure.
But I having loved A New Hope so much and seeing this, there were moments in Force Awakens where I was like, man, Star Wars is back, and I'm excited. And
Fuck yeah,
I couldn't wait for the next one. And my speculations on everything,
But honestly,
I was thinking,
in the same breath, I think that next one is weird like Empire. I think it is the Empire of the series.
you think 8 or 9 is gonna be
No, I think the one that we just had, fucking
Last Jedi.
I think Last Jedi is the Empire of the series. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's fucking weird as shit, and I think it's gonna be misunderstood. And I think when we go back and look at it, I think we're gonna go.
People love Empire though.
Yeah, I think people didn't like Empire at first, though. People hated Empire at first.
You think?
I know for a fact. I've watched the documentaries. It did horrible. People hated Empire when it came out because they had just come off the high. Because Star Wars was never a thing before A New Hope.
Right.
It was the first thing ever, and they went, "Holy shit!" And then they were waiting on bated breath for that sequel.
Yeah.
And then they gave them Empire, and people fucking hated it.
Well,
But in the long run, it's everybody's favorite.
it is everybody's favorite.
You know what I mean?
It is, but
I think that fucking Force, and also fucking Ryan Johnson gave a lot of fuck you JJ moments in that movie, you know?
Yeah, and that's part. But the problem is, it's a trilogy. So you do a lot of fuck you JJ moments, and suddenly that his movie doesn't feel like it's gonna fit the trilogy. And I'm only speculating because obviously we haven't seen episode 9, but
I think it's gonna be okay. I think it's gonna be okay.
But
also, Star Wars are so weird and disjointed all around. Like people,
But there's a sandbox. There's a sandbox you play in. Like the MCU movies are all. They give the directors freedom to make their movie, but you have to play in the sandbox with the rules we've established.
Sure,
and that's how almost all the Star Wars are.
The MCU has an ironclad kind of plan behind them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you would think that Star Wars had a good plan for the trilogy instead of like,
You would
JJ
think.
did this. Here's Ryan. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. You made Looper. Make
Hey,
Looper
man,
with our Star Wars
It's not
characters.
as bad as the DCU, and that's all we should be happy about.
That's true.
You know what
That's
I mean?
true,
How
but-
much- my shit's still going. Okay, this is recording. That's recording. That one I know is not recording anymore.
That's okay.
That's done.
We'll just do the solos for these solo discussions. But to me, Last Jedi leaves me in a place where I don't give a fuck what happens in Episode 9 at all.
I do.
You care that with
There's
Kylo
like
Ren as the
20
main
more-
bad guy?
I don't think he is the main bad guy. I think something else is that work.
So my boss, Kurt, who's a huge Star Wars nerd, he was literally like, he's read every book ever written and like every comic, and he's like all into the sides. Any piece of Star Wars he can get, he brings into it. He's like, he's like, I don't believe Snoke's actually dead. And I'm like, you don't?
Nah, he's fucking dead.
And I'm like, why would you not think Snoke's dead?
I thought that was a badass move, to be honest.
It was kind of cool. I like that he was spinning it and all that stuff, but I don't know, man. I just don't...
I think you know what's gonna happen is maybe the real story is gonna be between, you know, Kylo Ren and Rey, and I think one of them is gonna kind of turn out to be like. I don't think it. Maybe it doesn't need a big bad guy, but you know what? That's part of what I liked about the ending is that I like to be the one who sits back and doesn't have to worry about it. Let it come to me, and then I'll wait and see what happens.
Dude,
Don't burden yourself.
There were all the seeds planted in the first one, and you can tell me that I like I said, it's my fault for getting hyped.
Have faith.
And wanting.
Have faith that they will follow through and answer back.
There are
know?
scenes in The Last Jedi that are great. The Yoda scene might be the best bit of Jedi dialogue.
Young Skywalker. He calls him Young Skywalker. I almost cried
Yeah.
when he said Young
was beautiful.
Skywalker.
It was beautiful. That was a beautiful
And
scene.
then he burns the shit, and he
Yeah.
goes, "Not page turners, were they?"
Yeah, that's good, dude. You give me that disguise. The whole thing about master, like the birth
And
of all masters is to be the thing that the students grow beyond or
We
whatever.
are what they grew beyond.
Yes, fantastic,
So good.
fantastic. But I believe in my heart that is a JJ line, and that is not from Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson has. And I'm sorry, but like I hate what he did with Luke. That's my ringtone, by the way. It's been my ringtone for years.
You know what part I liked at the end is where they're on that crash course and he's trying to like do that suicide bombing mission and he's like, I almost had them, I almost killed them, and she says, what does she say to him? She has the black kid in her arms, you know, the Asian girl, and she was like, what does she say? She says, it's not about what we kill, it's about what we save, or something like that at the end. It's not about
we're gonna beat them because we're fighting for
it's
for
not
what we
about
love,
it's
or-
not about destroying the things we hate, but saving the people
things
we
we love.
love.
Yeah.
And that's how we will win.
Yeah.
I fucking love that shit too, man. That is great.
Yeah, I'm
That's
not
some
one of the
good
people
shit.
who I'm not one of the people who
Do you
hated
believe the people that shit all over her? It's not her fucking fault. She just got cast in a movie.
Yeah.
It's not her fucking fault.
It isn't her fault at all. I can understand if you don't like someone's performance in a movie, but like they like went.
She was sort of like a save the animals, you know.
Yeah, but
That whole Vegas scene,
Canto Bite.
Kento Bite.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, this place is fucking great."
And dude, BB-8 is like
that the fucking drunk aliens putting all the coins in them.
that was
I love that.
Warwick Davis, I believe.
Warwick Davis.
Yeah,
Did he play that? No, that was a CGI character.
the little guy that was putting the fucking chips in him.
That was Warwick.
pretty sure he got a role. He has a role in every one of the movies.
You know, Warwick Davis's character in Solo is amazing, right?
I haven't seen it, so
Warwick Davis's character in Solo
Has,
is
like-
the same character that he is in Phantom Menace.
who the hell is he in Phantom Menace?
You won't know until you watch Solo. In the end of Solo, his character is hugely dependent on the rebellion.
Really?
Amazing ending.
I don't remember
Watch-
Warwick Davis being in the Phantom Menace. That's why.
He was quick. He was hanging out with Jabba.
He was.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a fucking pirate. He's a pirate, hanging out with Jabba the Hutt. But he turns, and if at the end of Solo, he is
So they link Warwick Davis back into it?
in the most beautiful way. The end of Solo, you see the beginning seeds of the rebellion starting to take hold.
Okay.
Fucking beautiful ending. Beautiful ending.
My whole problem with this new trilogy in general is that, like,
And you see that motherfucker from Rogue One with the gas mask and the eyes.
Saw Gerrera.
Not Saw. His henchman. Two Tubes.
2 tubes, yep.
One of the Two Tubes is in the gang
I
with.
say Saw Gerrera died in fucking Rogue One.
No. Well, Rogue One takes place after Solo, but
Oh,
you
true.
you
Yeah,
see
you're right.
Two Tubes with Warwick Davis's character, the pirate, in the beginning of the rebellion, aka at the end of Solo.
Right.
Amazing how, and it's right after the Kessel Run too.
Yeah.
That's great.
So the thing that annoys me the most about the fact that they canceled all these individual Star Wars movies is the fact that, like, I had such hopes that they were gonna get Ewan McGregor to do an Obi-Wan story on Tatooine, you know, because Ewan
I
McGregor,
know.
for all the problems with the original trilogy, Ewan McGregor was never one of them.
No, he's awesome.
He's amazing. Yeah. Hello there.
Hello there.
He pops in like he's just so
He
good.
changes his fighting style from movie to movie. Also, awesome shit.
Yeah.
It's like from what he learns. I have the high ground, Anakin. You're supposed to be our savior. Oh,
See, I don't care how shitty the prequels
Hello
are.
there.
There are some Ewan McGregor scenes
The
that are
door
just
opener.
fantastic. He's so over
He's
talented
great.
for
He's
that
fucking
for that
great.
franchise.
Yeah.
But they got to do some kind of, and especially with the seeds they planted with Darth Maul still being alive and that being canon now. Like, come on, you gotta do the.
I hope Darth Maul had some robot legs like fucking like Rhodey in Avengers.
He did have robot legs in the
Does he?
in Solo. I've seen
that-
the clip. I've seen the
Okay,
clip.
so he's got the robot
You see him
legs,
stand up with
okay.
robot legs, and they make even metal
Okay.
clanking sounds. Yeah, yeah. So do you watch? Have you watched any Rebels or anything like that?
No, but I've read everything on YouTube.
So like the Obi-Wan Darth Maul, when that shit like full circle, like that's great because he's like, even Darth Maul as a character, like he's betrayed by the Sith who he's been raised to love, you know, and then he's literally just like out to like destroy the Empire.
Yeah.
So he's like an agent of evil doing good. You know, so it's like this weird thing, but he still has this hate for Obi-Wan. So when they finally meet up in Rebels and they come across each other, and like old Obi-Wan, like Alec Guinness looking at Obi-Wan,
Oh, okay.
takes him out, and like he ends up, he just like cuts
Yeah,
through
but see, that just impedes on my understanding of the first movie. You're like, in my mind, I'm like, this motherfucker's been collecting dust for years.
yeah.
No
Well,
other
they
story.
say the canon is that his hatred,
Fuck that.
his hatred keeps him alive. I'm like, yeah, it's a little tough when you don't have intestines. Oh, yeah, I guess he technically did.
He
'cause
hasn't
singed in
seen a
half.
droid or a lightsaber in years. He goes, oh, interesting. This was your father's. Ooh.
Oh yeah. There's so much fucking bullshit like tied in there.
Blue milk, water evaporators, droids.
Yeah, but there's this great line. So he ends up stabbing Darth Maul, right?
Yeah.
And Darth Maul's like, I'm done. Like, you just got me right through the chest. Like, I'm out. So then he catches him. And it's like this wicked, beautiful like wrap up of their two stories. And he's like, why? He's like, you're here. He's like, who are you here protecting? He's like, is it the chosen one? And he's like, yes. And he's like, will he? Is he going to save us or whatever? Or is he? And he's like,
Bring balance.
yeah, and he's like, yes, he will. And it's like, and he just dies knowing that like whoever's on this planet that Obi-Wan has been there protecting is like gonna undo the Empire, and it's like, it's beautiful.
So that's sort of the precursor to A New Hope.
yeah,
Wow.
yep.
So Darth Maul sort of goes like, nice.
He's there searching for apprentices, and like in doing so, he knows, he senses Obi-Wan there, and he knows that Obi-Wan's protecting someone with massive force abilities.
and he's pumped that like Luke is there,
yeah,
even though he doesn't know it's Luke.
right.
He goes, "Is the motherfucker here?" And he goes, "Dude,
Yeah.
I'll find him. Don't worry."
Yeah.
When his Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru let the blue milk go bad, he's gonna come searching for me.
Yeah, so he's
You know?
looking for exactly. So he's looking for him as an apprentice. He would have taken Luke under his wing, but
I like the idea that if those two droids hadn't have gotten out of that escape pod, then the whole thing would have been
Yeah.
I love that's beautiful to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's all about.
And
the
then
two
you got
droids.
R2 is about to abandon. I mean, fucking 3PO is about to abandon R2, and then fucking R5D4 is just like, this droid's got a bad motivator. You know, and then like I love all that.
You walk that
shit.
way. It's far too rocky.
It's far too
This way will be much easier.
Yeah. Oh, teeny.
Yeah. Did you ever
All
see
right.
I'm sorry, Warwick Davis though? Did you ever see his show on HBO? Life's Too Short.
Life's Too Short. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
I love when he's like, when the episode where they get him to dress up, they want him to dress up as Wicket.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like, oh, I don't
Well,
have the costume.
That's a follow up to the fucking Carl Pilkington show. Fucking An Idiot Abroad.
Oh, I've seen An Idiot Abroad.
Life's Too Short is sort of like season 3, right? It's sort of like.
But it's like a scripted show versus like.
Oh, you're right.
No.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Was in the previews for
No,
that.
but I love when he's like.
Oh, because I'm confusing it. Warwick was in season 3 of Life's Too Short. Oh no, of Idiot Abroad. Yeah. And then they went on with Life's Too Short.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I loved that show.
Yeah, it was great.
But anyway, I want to end this shit because we're getting close to
1 a.m.
Yeah. And if we're ever going to maybe film the intro to this, it
Yeah.
would be now.
And if I ever get home, my wife, I was like, I'll be home at 12. It's 1 o'clock.
All right, so we talked about Predator for a while.
Not really.
Little bit. Struggled through it. But
We
anyway,
talked about a lot of cool shit, though.
this is the way the podcast goes.
Yeah.
And half of it will have a certain camera angle. The next half will just have these two because I do believe they're still going. Anyway, Sunday with Buds.
Thanks for having me on, Roberto.
Kevin Duffey, special episode, crossover with Loud
You
Bostonian.
got it right in the end.
I did. Angry Bostonian. Go watch at I'm just kidding. At Loud Bostonian.
Yeah, someone out there is going to steal that handle now, and I'm going to be like fucking put out of business.
But his episode's going to be better, so go watch his. And then watch mine after. All right, sounds good. Bye, guys. Love you. Big hits. All right.
All right. I think that was good. That's good.
Pissed so bad.
It's good dialogue.